Alright YouTube, welcome to my channel guys. My name is Azeroth85. This is going to be my first video on YouTube on this channel. I had a channel years ago and I had a couple game clips on it, but that was 10 years ago, back Battlefield 2. Just to give you guys a little update on how long it's been since I've been into the PC gaming world. I figured I'd start my first video off with doing one of my favorite games personally, Kerbal Space Program, as you guys can see. This is going to be a let's play slash kind of tutorial to the game, some basic stuff. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can feel free to ask. Let's go ahead and start game. Let's start a new game. Career mode, let's pick a flag. I have here World Airforce Insignia. I myself am a veteran of the United States Air Force, so I'm a little partial to some of these Air Force ones, either this one or that one. I like this, it's a little less obtrusive on the side of the rocket. Let's accept that. Let's go into the difficulty options and check out what we want. Allow reverting flights. Always good if something happens. Quick loading, missing crew respawns. Alright. Blah blah blah. We'll basically leave it here, go over to advanced. I like my Kerbals to level up immediately. That's just me. You guys can do what you want. Let's go ahead and accept, and let's get this bad boy started. So for those of you that don't know what Kerbal is, let's rename this. Let's play 1. So let's get this started. For those of you that don't know what Kerbal is, I don't know why you're looking at this, but you know, whatever. Kerbal is a pretty cool game. Basically, you take over the space program for a type of people called Kerbals. So quick intro. The flight director kind of gives you little tips about what to do. We'll go ahead and skip that. First thing I like to do is go into mission control. We're going to accept a couple missions, launch your first mission, and gather scientific data from Kerbin. So we will go ahead and accept those two. See here with the unupgraded mission control, you can only have 2 active, and I have 2 right here. You can see the 2 that I've selected. So we'll go back. This is kind of our base. You've got mission control, the space plane hangar. Space planes are fun, but space planes are a pain in the ass. Very difficult to fly, very difficult to build properly. You got to worry about lift and all kinds of stuff, as opposed to here, the VAB, or the Vehicle Assembly Building. You just build a rocket. Basically, you just strap a buttload of fuel into a little thing, and you shoot your guy up into the air as fast as possible. Really easy. Got to worry about gravity turns and all kinds of stuff, but that comes with the territory. And if you've been playing for a little while, you get the hang of it. You've got the astronaut complex. This is where you can check out the astronauts you have available. You start with 4 astronauts: Jeb, Bill, Bob, and Valentina. Different jobs: pilot, engineer, scientist, and pilot. The pilots, as they skill up, you can't really see it in the bottom of that little box there. It says effects, stability assist, and full vessel control without comnet access. Those are the primary skills of a pilot. You can level up by doing different things and getting stars. The different ones have different stuff. So the first ones you need to worry about are pilots, then normally scientists, then engineer. You can hire more Kerbals as the game progresses, and they cost more and more. Next hire, as you can see here, $65,000. The other way to get Kerbals for free, and you actually get paid to get Kerbals, is you do rescue missions, which we will talk about probably in a later video when they actually come up. Administration building, you can do here, you can do contracts. I tend to not to mess with the contracts. That's just me. You can if you want to. Sorry, I got the little hiccups going. I apologize. Research and development. This is an important one here. These are all the researches you can do to upgrade your ships and your parts that you can use. We will talk about that as I start unlocking some science. That's in the research and development building. Over here, the tracking station. You click on it. Another little thing kind of tells you about the tracking. Over here is going to be all your tracked objects, which are going to be anything you have in the sky or in outer space. You can quickly shift those. Up here is a list of all of the different types of stuff you can have. Obviously, you have planes, bases, stations, and so on and so on. We don't have anything because this is a new game. So this is Kerbin. Kerbin is orbited by two bodies. We have the Mun and Minmus. Normally we go to the Moon first, or Mun first, and then Minmus, or Minmus and the Mun. Minmus is easier to land on because it has less gravity than the Mun, but the Mun is obviously much closer. We can scroll out a little bit more and you start seeing the orbits of the other planets. The star in the middle is called Kerbin, and then Moho went away. Moho is like Mercury, Eve is like Venus, there's Kerbin. Duna is kind of like Mars, and then we get out. Drez is another rocky body outside, but then we get into Jewel. Jewel's like Jupiter, and Elo is, I don't know what Elo is. I've actually never been there, so I couldn't tell you. But some of these have moons or satellites orbiting them. Some of them don't. We'll get into all those later when we start actually doing planetary transfers. Here we have the launch pad. This is where you launch stuff. No saved vessels, so we can't launch anything from there right now. So we got to go into the vehicle assembly building, or the VAB, to build our first ship. So as you saw, the first two contracts that we picked up, you can come down here into the corner, or gather scientific data from Kerbin and launch our first vessel. Up here we've got Werner von Kerman here, kind of telling us how to do the VAB. So we're going to start out with our first vessel. We're going to pick the MK1 command pod, which is kind of the basic command pod. You get one Kerbin can go in there. You can look at the stats here. The command pod has a minimum of one crew to operate, and you can see... let's get it to stick. There it is. Crew capacity 1, minimum of one crew to operate. That means that if you don't have a crew member in there, you basically can't control it unless you throw in a probe or something like that, which we don't have unlocked yet. So we're going to start with the command pod. We are actually not going to be launching anything, so we're just going to throw this in there. We're going to turn the solid fuel all the way down. We're going to turn the thruster all the way down, because all we got to do is launch a vehicle. It actually doesn't need to move. We just need to hit the space bar to launch it. We also have something to get science from Kerbin. So we will throw a mystery goo containment unit on here. Just the one. Again, we're not actually going to go anywhere. This game is pretty cool. It has pretty good physics going with it. That probably won't affect it that much, just having this one mystery goo component on this side. Normally I like to double up and have one on this side just for symmetry and weight distribution. However, this doesn't weigh a lot. Let's see, how much does it weigh? It weighs 0.05 tons. So really not a lot of weight on there. So it's not going to affect the way your ship flies that much. But it could. So we've got this all set up. We check the crew, make sure we've got Jebediah, or Jeb for short, in there. Let's go ahead and launch this. So we're going to wait here. It's going to go to the launch pad. This is the basic launch pad right here. We can zoom in, we can zoom out. I love how it has this little explosion there, meaning that something messed up. That's why I'm in charge now, right? So we'll go ahead, right-click it. Let's do that again. We're going to go ahead, right-click it. We're going to observe the mystery goo. Here we're going to keep the experiment. We're going to click on this. We're going to do a crew report as well, because it's another 1.5 science. At the beginning of the game, the science is very important. Right-click to get out of there. If you guys are wondering what I have up here, we've got this window down here, we've got this window up here, and this little window here. I am running MechJeb. I'm also running Kerbal Engineer. So MechJeb gives you options of stuff to do. As you unlock more science, you can do more stuff. I just like to have MechJeb. I like this. Kerbal Engineer is nice too. It has another little layout here. We'll see how they go. MechJeb's nice for automating stuff. Sometimes I do because I'm lazy. Sometimes I don't because I actually want to do hands-on. Oh, look over here. You can see my little flag. Yay, Airforce. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and launch this so we can complete our first mission. So we're going to go ahead and hit the space bar. Boom. Oh, you know what? It did not launch. So we will recover the vessel so we get that science. I forgot that I took all the fuel out and I took all the thrust out, so it actually didn't launch anything. Here we can see the science that we got, some upgrades. Let's go back into the VAB and let's give it a little bit of fuel and give it a little bit of thrust. And since we're going to go up in the air, let's go to utility and throw a parachute on top. What we can do now is we can change the staging over here. So it goes from the bottom up to the top. The first thing it's going to do is going to fire the booster. And the first time we hit space, it's going to fire the booster. Second time we hit space, it's going to launch the parachute. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire the booster. It's going to go up. Once it starts to come back down, we're going to hit the space bar again, and the parachute's going to deploy. So let's watch that after the loading screen. Alright, here we are. So we are going to hit the space bar to launch it. Boom! Nothing. Launch the parachute. Nothing. So I had the thrust limiter down, that's the problem, but let's see if we achieved it. Gather scientific data, we got that one. Gather scientific data, we got that one. We're first milestone. Nope, still didn't do it. Let's recover the vessel again. I apologize, guys. I'm going to put the thrust all the way up on this bad boy, and we will see exactly how it goes. Let's check to make sure we still have the mission, launch our first one. So I guess we have to actually get off the ground. So let's try this for the third time. You know what they say, third time is the charm. Here we are, ready. 3, 2, 1, launch. There we go, up in the air. Shoot the parachute out. We're going to come down. You see how it went off at an angle there? If you notice, it went at an angle towards the mystery goo. Let's do a crew report while we are flying over Kerbal shores. Let's observe the mystery goo over Kerbal shores as well. Little bit more science data. So we're coming down here. We got to 300 something meters, which isn't too bad. What we can do, I am an impatient guy, so I'm going to speed it up. And right before we touch down, I am going to slow it back down. You can see the shadow coming down right there, and boom, touchdown. All right. Recover the vessel. We got a little bit more science out of that, which is always nice. So we got 15.5 science for that. We're up to 26. This is our recovery for everything that we recovered, so we can save a little bit of money. The closer we land to the Kerbal Space Station, which is here, and the closer to the launch pad, the more money you get back, because they don't have to send out an exhibition team to go get the craft. So Jebediah gained 1 experience. Fantastic. We come over here and we can see he's a little bit under halfway to getting his first star. Once the pilot gets their first star, they can lock to prograde and retrograde, which I'll talk about shortly. Let's come over here, mission control. We've completed both missions, so we have no active contracts. Let's look what we need. Test the Flea solid booster head launch. Let's take that one. That's easy money. Alright, let's take escape the atmosphere as well, because why not? Research and development. First thing I like to grab is this one here. It gives us a little bit more science. I am running DMagic Orbital Science mod, which gives you some extra science, such as the magnetometer boom. Magnetometer, that one. A little bit of extra science for you. The Kerbal inventory system I'm also running. With the user guide, you can figure out how to do stuff there. I've got the utility wrench. So this one here basically will unlock the thermometer, which is nice. More science, yay. Also a decoupler, which we'll start using we'll probably use it on the next one, and a Communitron so that we can talk to the base. So we got the Communitron 16 and the Communitron 16S. If you can see here, it has antenna type, which is direct, which means that it is not a relay, which we will talk about later on, and it's got different strengths. You can see these two are the same, pretty much, just one looks different than the other, which I can show you later. So let's go ahead and take this. Let's also take this so we can get this swivel engine, which is a fantastic starter engine. We get another booster, an actual fuel tank, because the boosters already have fuel in them. The engines, you need to put a fuel tank on there as well. Let's see, what mod is this? This would be, I don't remember. Universal Storage, it says right there. Universal Storage is a fantastic mod. It gives you this, and it also will give you some better places to put your science experiments. Let's see if we can find one right there. So it'll give you these little things, and you can hook those on. So this is the orbital telescope. This is the press mat and 2 hot. So this is pressure and temperature all in one. That way you don't got to stick them to the side. You can kind of make them in line on your rocket or on your plane, space plane. Let's call it that. Let's see, how much? 15. We have 16. We have 16 science. This one costs 15. Let's go ahead and grab this one because we got the barometer, which is more science. We've got some heat shields, which is important when you leave the atmosphere. It keeps your pods from burning up, so we got to throw those on. Radiator panels, that'll keep some of the heat off. Landing struts, we don't really need those right now, but always good to have. A couple radial chutes. So what those are parachutes that don't go on the top like I put on the nose cone kind of looking thing. These ones slap on the side. We'll use some here on the next one, so you'll see. The service bay, you put some batteries and stuff in there, and water and oxygen. I'm not running any life support mods at this time, so those ones aren't that important for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to build our first. Let's go ahead and scrap this. Let's make a brand new one. We're going to leave the atmosphere of Kerbin. So we're going to go ahead and start with the MK1 pod. We are going to then put on a heat shield, which is here in the thermal area. It's the 1 1/4 meter shield right there. Slap it on. Fantastic. We are then going to throw some science on here. Let's put mystery goo. Let's put 2 of these on here. So what I did is I hit the X button, and you can see down here in the corner, it's changing from the dot to that. That is going to put 2 on there. If I go this way, you can see it's going to slap the 2 on just like that, and they're going to be right in the same spot. I like to put the mystery goos here up at the top. We'll go ahead and throw a barometer on as well. I like to turn them so they're here. We're going to put 2 of these as well. Let's move them up a little. Right there. And 2 thermometers. We'll put it right there. That's all the science. We have the magnetometer. It sticks out like that. So the problem that we're going to have is when we re-enter the atmosphere, you'll see when we come back down, you're going to have fire, and the fire could blow those up. What you could do is you could place them, and then you can come up here to the move tool, click on this, and you can put it inside. That's kind of cheating in my opinion, but to each his own. So we're going to leave the magnetometer booms off for right now. So we're just going to run with these 3 science experiments. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to coupling. We're going to throw that decoupler on. You could put it like this. That looks a little janky. I like to put it like that. Makes everything look a little bit more streamlined. Fuel tanks. We're going to do this. Alt-click, copies. I have a tendency to... Oh, that's too much. Let's not do that. Let's go like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fantastic. That should be enough. Let's throw a swivel engine on there. Delta V, we've got 2,000 Delta V in atmosphere, which is what we're worrying about right now, because all we're trying to do is escape the atmosphere. That means we have to get to 70,000 meters, because that's the depth of the atmosphere of Kerbin. Kerbin. Yes. So that's going to be good. And, you know, for a little stability, let's put some fins on here. Let's go with 4 right there. There we go. Oh, you know what we forgot, and it is very important. Let's throw a parachute on top so that way we can get back safely. If not, it would be a fiery death for Jeb, because I believe Jebediah is going to be the stock guy in there. Yes, Jebediah is the guy. So here we are, just like this. We are going to go ahead and say, oh, let's check our staging. So first we're going to fire the engine. Then we want to build another staging. We want to decouple, and then we're going to parachute when we get back into the atmosphere. Let's go ahead and launch this. Alrighty, so there she is, our first ship that's going to leave the atmosphere, hopefully. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on the SAS, which is a stability assist system. That's going to help us keep us going in the direction that we want to go. Pretty much always want to have that on. There are certain reasons why you don't. Next, let's throttle up all the way to full. There we go. And launch in 3, 2, 1, go. So there we go, going up. Our thrust to weight ratio is like 3.5, so that's quite a lot. Get to the surface speed of about 150. We'll start to gravity turn, which means you want to go with the way against the way that the planet is rotating. The planet rotates from east to west, so we are going to point it in a westerly direction. I forgot, we're just trying to escape the atmosphere. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight up. That'll get us there faster. We're watching the apoapsis, which is the farthest point from the body that we are orbiting. We're going to get up to, there's 70. There we go. And we got some flame effects going because we are going really fast right now. Our apoapsis is looking like it's going to be at 87 kilometers-ish. You notice that number's going down. It's because we still are in the atmosphere, you can see. So we still are having a little bit of friction from the atmosphere. Once we reach space, that number will stop going down, because in space it's a vacuum and there's not, in this game, there's no friction. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go up. I'm going to speed it up a little bit until we get to 70,000 kilometers. And let's slow it down so we can... Yay, you see the camera kind of shifted. The music changed. We are officially in outer space. Fantastic. So we're going to flip around like this. Woo! Alright. Alright, stop spinning. You're making me sick. There we go. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to point away from the direction we're going to go. We're going to hit the space bar to activate stage 1 here, which you can see it highlighted the decoupler. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and boom, decoupled. Fantastic. Let's rotate so that we're going to be facing in the right direction. You want to have the bottom of the ship facing in the direction that you're going. What we do is we hit surface, and we can hit retrograde right there. Oh, because we're still going up. There's the problem. So we're still going up. So we're going to go like this. And I was playing a little bit earlier to test some stuff, and I want to see if this still does it. Just some craziness. So you just hit the D button to keep it spinning, and you get spinning. And it looks like the ship's shaking apart, but it's not. Sorry if that made you guys sick. Alright, let's stop spinning. Alrighty. Alright, we're coming back down now, and we are coming in hot. Let's change back to the orbit. We are orbiting at 300 meters per second-ish. Go back to surface. The retrograde is, so with orientation, the forward of the ship is going to be here. So what it is prograde means that the front of your ship is facing in the direction you're going, basically. Retrograde means that the front of your ship, so prograde right there. So we are going in that direction. Notice how the ship is going towards the planet because we are falling very quickly back into the atmosphere. We want to face retrograde so that the bottom of our ship here is the part that is actually going to come in first. Because we have the ablator there, or the ablator here means the heat shield, which is how much you have to burn off. So we're going to come down as we get going a whole lot faster, which we will. Once we get above about 1,000 meters per second down here at surface, we'll start to see some effects. What we can do is we can turn the SAS off because we are a balanced ship. Oh, I forgot to do all my science. You guys got me all talking, and I forgot to do my science. So I missed all of the science from outer space. But we will do those later when we do our orbit. So we're coming down, coming down, coming down. Normally when you come in, you want to come in at an angle, because if you come in straight down like this, you're going to be going way too fast, especially if you're coming back from Mun or Minmus or anywhere else from an orbit. If you come in straight down like this, you're going to go too fast. So here's some of our flame effects here. You can see the effects from the heat shield. You can see the effects coming off of the mystery goo canisters. Looks like we're going to hit the water, which isn't a terrible thing. We're going to come down. Our speed is dropping because we're getting into thicker atmosphere down here, which means we're having more resistance and more friction. So we're slowing down a whole lot faster. What we can do is, I like to, about 1,000 meters, I will go ahead and deploy the parachute. You can also look over here on the staging. Right now it's white. I didn't show you earlier. It was red and then it was yellow. That means that it's red is not safe, yellow is caution, and white is go ahead and deploy the chute. It is safe. So we're going to come down here and 1,000 meters, deploy the parachute. There it is. It takes a little while. And it died. Uh-oh. That's not good. Alright, well, on that note, guys, let's go ahead and go back to the Space Center, and Jeb is dead. That's not good. I didn't deploy the chute fast enough, but you know what? It's a video game, and it really doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and put a cut in the video here, and we will pick up again -1 Kerbal.